Ever wondered how a bank can show one balance on your app, but internally, things look a little different? Like, where does that little gap, that tiny delay, actually go? Today, we're diving into the fascinating and sometimes confusing world of bank float. It's not magic, but it's definitely a bit of a financial illusion. We've all seen it. You deposit a check and it might not show up as available immediately. Or you transfer money and it takes a day or two to fully clear. That delay, that in-between time, is what we call float. And banks, well, they've been masters at using it for decades. Think of it like this. Your money, for a brief period, exists in a sort of financial limbo. It's in transit, but not quite. It's like a train moving between stations. It's going somewhere, but it's not quite arrived. Banks leverage this time gap to their advantage. So, how exactly do they do it? Primarily by investing. While your funds are in this float state, banks can invest them in short-term, highly liquid assets. These investments, even for a day or two, generate interest. Multiply that by millions of transactions daily, and you're talking about a significant revenue stream. This is where things get a bit more complex. Banks don't just invest your individual deposit. They aggregate these floating funds, creating a massive pool of capital. This pool is then used for various short-term lending and investment activities. Think overnight loans to other financial institutions or purchasing treasury bills. These are low-risk, fast turnaround investments, perfectly suited to the fleeting nature of float. Another key aspect is the clearing process itself. Banks use various clearing networks like the Automated Clearing House, ACH, or the Federal Reserve's FedWire to process transactions. These networks have their own timelines, creating inherent delays. Banks exploit these delays by strategically timing their own internal processes. For example, a bank might delay the posting of a check deposit until the next business day, even if they've received the information electronically. This extra day allows them to continue investing the funds, maximizing their return. Furthermore, banks also use float to manage their reserve requirements. They're legally required to hold a certain percentage of their deposits in reserve. By carefully managing the timing of transactions, they can optimize their reserve levels, ensuring they meet regulatory requirements while minimizing the amount of idle cash. It's important to understand that float is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a fundamental part of the banking system, allowing banks to operate efficiently. However, it's crucial to be aware of how it works, especially when managing your own finances. Remember those times when you've written a check and it takes days to come out of your account? That's float. It's why some online transfers have a pending period. It's why the availability of funds can be different from the balance displayed. Ultimately, banks use float to generate revenue, manage reserves, and optimize their internal processes. It's a complex system, but understanding its basic principles can help you better navigate the world of banking. With said, thanks for watching, and until next time.